Ski ska, ski ski ska, ski 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 ska. Alright. Need to record again because, yes, I also forgot that the sound was off again. Man, how many times am I going to make the mistake? I hope it's not many. But anyways, let's continue our story. So Deku, after, leaving Bakugo and his squad, decides to go visit the doctor and see if he has anything he forgot from there. Obviously, he enters the he enters the yard where he killed all those guys, where the dog, Big Boy, and the dog is buried. He then puts a rose, it's a fake rose, but still, it's a thought that counts. Then he puts it down between their graves, and then he goes into the office of the doc. And then he finds a creepy walking. It's not like creepily walking, it's just normally walking. And it opens a cabinet, takes a vial from the thing. Then the creepy opens the vial, drinks it, and then the creepy's bones start crackling backwards. And then it turns to Momo. Yes, Momo is a creepy. Well, what's even more creepy is that Momo's creepy was casually walking and had just a blank face. No frown, just blank. So now we got a creepiest creepy. Oh, I'm kidding, it's just the creepy. It's basically a special creepy. And then Momo sees him and immediately turns back into her form and runs after Deku. And then Deku, wanting to know why the Momo's here, tackles her and starts beating her in to get information. But, Momo, being superior to Deku, just starts beating him in, tearing off limbs, and almost killing Deku, but Deku was able to scare her off by pulling a grenade and shoving it in her mouth, so she had to run away to get rid of the grenade. She had to spit out the grenade and run away, but and she ran away so far away that she didn't realize Deku didn't pull the pin. He pulled a decoy pin. He scared the crap out of him. Boo. And then Deku needs to eat something to regenerate. And then luckily the corpses that the doctor built up for Deku are still there. So he eats them and regenerates again. And then Deku gets up and just, God. Damn right. But still, Momo? How did she turn into a creepy? I'm definitely gonna have to beat the shit out of her to get that out of her. That female dog. And then he breaks the concrete wall, jumps off the building, breaking most of the concrete under him. He finds a lot of creepies and eats all of them. Beats the shit out of all the creepies and eats all of them. And then just grows in power again. And yes, Bakugo set on another mission by Momo, and now we know she's the antagonist. And then, yeah, they go out on a drive, finding Deku standing in the middle of the road, opening the door violently, pulling Bakugo out, telling him, "Are you an evil person?" And Bakugo says, "No." "Well, did you know you're working for one?" And Bakugo's like, "Momo?" And then Bakugo says, You're off your rocker if you think it's Momo, she's evil. She is a creepy, and I know it. I saw her with my own eyes. You explosive-haired dumbass. Yeah, he's very pissed off. Because he doesn't like Momo. Remember, she left him to die, which he's livid about. You think you wouldn't be livid about? No, I don't even need to explain that crap. And then Kirishima gets out with a gun to Deku's head. But Deku just grabs his wrist, not breaking it, of course, because this is Baku's husband, he's not going to hurt him, and then just squeezes the wrist until he drops him. He drops the gun. And then Kirishima just tugs his hand away. Deku's saying, "So it's like that, ain't it?" And then they say, "His grandma's improved." It's my brain, it's getting bigger. It's not squishy anymore. It's pretty consistent. It's normal. And then they look around to find creepies, and Deku kills all of them and just eats all of them. And Deku is just killing creepies to get more powerful. But something bad is starting to happen to Deku. He looks under his shirt for 2 seconds to see his skin is burning. Yeah, Deku's turning into a creepy, and if he doesn't stop eating creepies, then he'll probably go completely insane and start twitching and die. His brain will probably go extinct and he'll die. But he thinks that the only way to stop Momo is to become her. But do you get this? Deku in the original series was very ignorant of his mental health and health in general to save people. And yeah, that's still bleeding through even in Zombie Deku. And Deku says he wants to go to the area to fight Momo, and they think, yeah, probably, until Deku gets shot at, almost barely missing his head. Then they look to see Shinso, Monoma, and Mushroom Girl shooting at Deku. So Deku just keeps dodging all their bullets now because he knows that they're there. So basically, they're getting bodied. Deku can't be touched. So then one of them throws a knife. Deku just throws it immediately right back, freaking immediately stabbing into Monoma, him crying out in pain. And then he just yells, "God damn it!" And then Deku says to drive off. Let's just leave. There's no reason to kill him. And then they just drive off with Monoma, Shinso, and Mushroom Girl, thinking they're definitely not on our sides anymore, are they? Until Mushroom Girl yells, well, then Mushroom Girl stands back on the edge, yelling profanities about how she always knew they were evil, until, well, obviously Monoma and Shinso are working on their wounds, until they hear a yap, like a yip, like a yeah, that, like a yeah, like that, and then they look towards the Mushroom Girl. She ain't there. Then they hear a lob, like a up into the sky, so they look up, see a black dot, and it slams in the middle of them, seeing it was the Mushroom Girl's head, lifeless and drained. And then they see a black hand land on top of the building. It scrapes. And it gets up. And then this creepy, and then they get even more scared because they see it's frowning. It's not as shocking as, Momo being a creepy, but still pretty weird. It's not smiling. And then, Monoma just gets Well, the creepy actually picks up the knife, stabs it through Monoa, throwing him off the building. Shinso then picks up his gun to shoot at the creepy in the head. It goes straight through the creepy's head, and the creepy just stands there unfazed. And then Shinso starts hyperventilating with fear, so he tries to reload his gun, but his gun is out of his hand, and in the other one's hand, and then the creepy uses it as a freaking bat to hit Shinso in the head, him getting some minor shock and his vision getting blurry. And then and then he feels a sharp pain in him, and he looks to see the creepy mouth. And then we see that its mouth is so unhinged it goes down to its neck. And then Shinso yells in pain and his bones start cracking, and then he turns into a creepy. Only for the smile creepy, the frowning creepy, to snap its fingers, and then Shinso, now a creepy, tears off its head with a big smile, and then it dies. And then that's what the creepy does. So luckily, now Momo doesn't know Baku and Kirishima are traitors. And so Deku immediately gets out of the car while they're going to the area, climbs over the wall. By the way, he's going into the parking lot of the area. And then he climbs in, and then someone spots Deku, tries to shoot at him, but he blitzes them, popping them in the throat, killing them instantly. And then Deku clears all of the guards from their post. By that I mean he kills all of them. And then he sets charges on all. Then he charges all the cars to explode. And then he walks down to the area, opening a gate to the main area. And then then the whole building freaking explodes, and then everyone looks to see Deku walking out of the street, and then Deku blitzes Mina, picking her up, and then just bolting out of there. And then everyone starts. Then he also blitzes Eri and Koda to grab them as well, and then they get out of there. Deku gets the fuck out of there, and then he puts them in Bakugo's truck that has been enhanced, by the way. And then he gets into the back of the car saying he got them and they can leave now. So they head out, and Momo leaves in secret to chase them. But she turns into a creepy state and starts chasing after them. But Deku then gets out of the vehicle and hops onto her and starts strangling her and beating her in her head. By the way, Deku's stronger now. So he's beating in Momo until Momo stabs Deku through the heart, through Deku's heart, but Deku just breaks off her arm, using the arm that stabbed him to stab her, but not killing her, of course, because her heart is just away from her. But then Deku starts beating in her head again, but she just kicks Deku's leg off, but he grabs his leg and then uses it as a bludgeon. And then Deku starts getting pummeled into a building until Momo about to slam Deku into the building one last time because he's almost dead. But then she gets a rocket to the back. If you're wondering who's shooting this rocket, oh heck yeah, it's Mina. She can still shoot a rocket, doesn't mind. I mean, just because she's like 7 months pregnant doesn't mean she can shoot a rocket. Yeah, so Momo then Deku runs towards Momo's heart to stomp on it, but Momo tries to stop him, but he crushes it before she can get to him. And then Momo then saying, you'll die to something. It might not be me, but you'll be burning in hell. And then Deku cuts off her head before she can end the sentence, killing her. And then Deku eats her corpse and then gains just so much power. And then Deku breathes in and out to relieve himself from all the bloodlust he was in to kill Momo. And then a few months go by, and we met. Mina gives birth to Kirishima and Baku's child. They name him. They name him Spike, but his full name is Jake. His name is Spike, and his real name is Jake. They nicknamed him Spike and Jake. It's Spike and Jake. You can tell who named him Jake and who named him Spike. And yeah, and they're all just chilling. They got a whole new base and everything, and it's the doctor's office actually. They renovated from all the people that tried to sit in, and Deku always prays with his buddies. And yeah, then they all sitting around with Spike being about a babies. Obviously, they went to the doctor's office first to have the baby, and then they cleared everything out to get the baby. But anyways, that's probably where we're going to leave things for now. This is probably a shorter part, honestly. Like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell. You already know what those things do, but I'll just remind you. Liking helps with the algorithm, subscribing helps me get more popular, and gets me on more people's For You pages, which is really difficult to do because my videos are so damn long, and hitting the post notification bell reminds me every single time I post one of these, but only if you subscribe. That's when the thing shows up. But anyways, I'll be seeing you. Damn, that was only 16 minutes long. Huh, I didn't even need to do a broadcast.